The Community Partnership Fund is part of the digital strategy, New Zealand's plan for our digital future. Under the Community Partnership Fund, communities define their own ICT needs and then applied through a contestable process. The Community Partnership Fund is a great example of community, business and government working together to develop regional and national ICT initiatives for New Zealand.
Our project's called SOUNZ Online, so we're inventing a whole new music cataloguing system to make sure that all of the connections for all of New Zealand music are made throughout our database. And the best way we can do this and the most efficient way we can do it is to do it online.
The online database is going to be very useful to musicians. This will make a lot more information available to them in a lot more easier to use form. Very good for composers who will be able to hopefully update their information themselves.
The more sort of dynamic way of presenting material will be hugely exciting for people who otherwise might be put off by simply just reading about, like I said, something that can't really be explained adequately in words.
New Zealand has long suffered from the twin problems of having a tyranny of distance, and that it's so far from anywhere else, and having such a small population base. And so it simply hasn't been economic for people to publish or record music in the same way. This new website is actually going to overcome those difficulties or turn those challenges into opportunities to get our music further afield.
When people come to our website, they'll be able to search for music, they'll be able to borrow it, they'll be able to buy it, either by download or by e-commerce. Also, internally, we'll be able to keep much better track of all of the music that New Zealand composers are writing and be able to have the information available instantly to all of the people who are searching our website.
From now on, we'll be able to see the very clear links with performers and commissioners and record companies.
I'd say the planning of the website has been over the last 20 months or so.
And I mean, of course, none of the project would have been possible if we hadn't had fantastic support from our funders, and that's obviously the digital strategy, the Community Partnership Fund, but also Creative New Zealand. There's such a huge number of people who have worked on this project. Our partners at the Composers Association, lots of our international colleagues, particularly the Australian Music Centre, Catalyst IT here in Wellington, and web designers Springload. They've said to us that they think we've implemented one of the most complex data models they've ever done, and that the faceted searching we're using for the public website for people to find music is one of the most complex they've ever seen on the internet.
There's something like 8,000 or more works, and each one has a whole lot of information about recordings and scores and performances, which all have to be made into an easy-to-use format and standardised to go onto the database.
From now on, all of the composers who we work with, because most of them are actually creating the music with computer programs, are able to send us PDFs of the music straight from their computers. So we'll be receiving digital files rather than pieces of paper.
We go live on November the 26th.
When we're putting in new scores and recordings, I think the process will be a lot easier than it has been in the past and than it is now.
It's been a massive learning curve, and we hope that we can pass some of that learning on to other people and maybe save them a little bit of time. But now the real kind of change begins as all the users start to use it, and we begin to get a sense of how we should adapt things or how we should use the services that the new site can offer to really make people's experience of the website and experience of New Zealand music much, much richer. In some ways, the end is just the beginning.